Okay, right now I'll open up for public comments on any municipal item. Oh, here we go.
5 minutes.
And just so everybody knows, we're going to adhere to the 5-minute rule.
I have a handout. I think maybe I should give that out first. Just one page.
Means I have to look at something.
Readers on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need them.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
I'm
you, ma'am.
gonna need one too. Mine too.
Goodness. Thank you.
Lois Drumheller. That's just one page out of a 168-page manual. I wanted to make some points of clarification after seeing the Citizens Night discussion on emergency responders and gas and oil industry vehicles along our roadways. That was a good discussion. Point number one, unconventional oil and gas wells have been around for a long time, but to clarify some important points relative to what we're seeing now, the public should know about this industry harvesting natural gas via well pads. And this started in the 1940s. And at that time, wells tapped into porous sandstone and limestone layers, and they went vertically. Then methods started to change in the 1990s. Fracking or hydraulic fracking methods were changed, and some say enhanced, by methods which extended this vertical well shaft down 8,000 feet, and then horizontally went along thin shale layers. And this method is what gives a lot of people who've come in front of you concern. It uses higher volume, fluid cocktails, if you will, injected at higher pressures along these horizontal layers for miles underneath our water table. Since this newer, more controversial method of high-volume hydraulic fracking, the science is showing us already that methane gas can escape into the environment from any of the gas wells. In fact, water from all frac wells often returns to the surface along with radioactive elements, some of them naturally occurring, and salts. This is beginning to happen right now, and can possibly occur below us in areas that were recently mapped here through seismic testing. The questions I heard asked Thursday as to whether Monroeville has done all it can under the current oil and gas zoning ordinance are very important. And we know that our first responders are able to provide mutual aid, which might even extend to well blowout should they occur within small radiuses around Monroeville. We perhaps should enforce these industry vehicles that were talked about to avoid accidents or carrying loads that are too big, which we hope don't happen en route to the surrounding well pads. I understand that our first responders can detect hydrogen sulfide gas already, which is one of the gases that can pollute from well pads. It's equally important that we outline how-to steps for safety monitoring the fracking industries that are around us, but also for Monroeville and oil and gas. For this reason, I'm handing out a one-page, as I said, out of the very large document. That comes from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection's 2018 Annual Ambient Air Monitoring Network Plan. And it identifies pollutants monitoring under the Commonwealth's Air Pollution Control Program. And the 2018 Air Monitoring Network Plan only shows one air monitor, and of course we're talking about Westmoreland County, located in Greensburg, just one. And this monitor is incapable of capturing many of the emissions that could result from an unconventional natural gas well leak. And nor is it showing any other monitoring near enough to these 134 gas well pads in Westmoreland County, many of which are close to us, to sufficiently monitor all these wells. Please take into account this document toward an update of a zoning ordinance in Monroeville for oil and gas industries, because this is what the industry should monitor should they come to Monroeville. That was point one. Point two, it was also mentioned at Citizens Night that cases argued in the courts are being followed, which is very good to monitor those.
30 seconds.
I would
Lois.
like to ask our solicitor to take over his take on the recent Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision in the Gorseline versus Fairfield Township. But before that, I wanted to get his take to clarify one more thing, and that is if the Monroeville's Planning Commission meetings are considered public meetings, if so, are they mandated by law to allow for public comment under the Sunshine Act? Thanks in advance for addressing both of these questions, Mr. Solicitor.
Once again, I'll leave the floor open for anybody that would like to address council on any municipal item.